Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. It's Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I have the mysterious Jessica Lee next to me, and I had this incredible desire to angle. Actually, if I angle the camera just slightly, you might scoot your shoulder to the right. I have a Lumiere there. Oh, we've got the Lumi cameo experience.
He's like, where? What are you talking about?
How often is he on camera? So, hi, everybody. So glad you could join me. We've got Lumi here on camera. We've got Jessica off camera. I will not make the mistake of turning the camera on her. So glad you can join us. I want to talk about making your life a happier, more fulfilled spiritual existence. Before we do that, little housekeeping. We have put our magical evening routine on sale with our magical morning routine, with our automatic writing program, kind of a 3-for-1, almost 70% off. That's supposed to be on sale, kind of an extended Black Friday special. I call it the super sale. That is on sale just through this evening, just through tonight. If you're listening to this tomorrow, I'm sorry, it's already done. We may still have the magical evening routine on sale through the weekend. Jessica and I are in negotiations, would you say, on that one. So we will see who prevails. So with that said, let's dive into things. I am so excited for this topic. So a lot of the topics here on the show come out of my automatic writing. I guess that's a shameless plug for our automatic writing program. Get the 3-for-1. But each morning I go into automatic writing. I go quiet and I write and see what words come to me. And a lot of what I've been getting lately is about how to live a more, I don't know if spiritual life is the right term, but basically we're human beings spiritual beings having a human experience. And so how do we remember this, and how do we live as if we are spiritual beings having a human existence? Yesterday, I had a shocking day. Jessica, can you believe I'm going there? No, she can't. I don't even know how to describe it.
You called it a horror movie.
Yeah, horrific was the term that was coming to mind. So you're saying, don't worry, I'm not turning the camera towards you, but my voice carries, yours doesn't. You were saying...
You called it a horror movie.
I did call it a horror movie.
You came out of the office and the receptionist said, how'd it go? And you said it was something like out of a horror movie.
And this is true. So I went to the dentist yesterday, and it was a shocking visit. I haven't had a new cavity in years, but I've been nursing dental challenges for the better part of a decade, maybe more, that I have not addressed. And it was things that when I first found out about this years ago, I was too busy. I didn't have the time. I didn't have, I'll put in quotes, the money. And now that I'm getting around to it, it was really sad to see the dentist took pictures. People are probably cringing. Had this like little wand with a camera on the end and took pictures of each one of my teeth. Each tooth with a giant close-up of what was going on, and I was horrified. And it gets back to the fact that everything is spiritual. There is no mind, body, spirit separation. We are all one. We are all a spiritual being in a meat suit, but the meat suit is spiritual too, having a spiritual experience. I was taking things for granted in the past. I was living, not la vida loca, that's for sure, but I was taking for granted how much everything in life is sacred. I don't think I realized the sacred nature of my body, the sacred nature of this whole experience, of this journey. And so now I'm doing the best I can to make amends with my body, and this dental work of which has just come about so serendipitously. Thank you, Carla. If you're listening to this, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are it becomes so important on some level to treat everything in your life as if it's sacred. Your health, your home, your family, your friends, your interactions, everything. Because truly, we are all one. Truly, this is on some level. It's not really an illusion, but there's so much more going on than meets the eye. And when we treat our world as sacred, everything changes. How would it be? Treat the world as sacred, and the sacred nature of the world appears before you. So one way that you can treat the world as sacred or treat yourself as sacred is to have a regular spiritual practice. I am such a strong believer of meditation each morning. And we had a gentleman on today who has a meditation app, and I haven't heard it yet. But in general, I'm less appy and more going into the silence, plugging into the sacred, special silence of the moment. Go into meditation each morning and into prayer each evening. In fact, it's so great if you can make life ceremony. Pray before small events, pray before large events, pray before you go to work, pray before you eat your breakfast. In the Hebrew Talmud, there's even pray before and after you go to the bathroom. Before you go to the bathroom, that everything functions properly. After you go to the bathroom, giving thanks that everything worked out well. Sounds ridiculous, but there's something actually to be said for it. I know for ourselves, at least for myself specifically, I pray before each show. I pray before each coaching session. I prayed before I came here to speak before you. I asked for assistance. Help me to help others. Help me to help our audience. The more that you go to a space of prayer, the more you feel in alignment, the more the doors open up for you. Since we're talking about happiness and fulfillment, the more you feel connected to something greater than yourself. When we feel separate in this world, we feel alone, we feel lonely, we feel we're in survival mode, that it's survival of the fittest. I've got to get mine before you get yours. I've got to fight for this. I've got to fight with traffic. I've got to. It's a really difficult way to go through life. And it's extremely hard on our nervous system because we feel we've got to claw, tooth, whatever it is, drag our way to survive through the day. If instead we go to a place of connectedness, a place of remembering who we are, that we are truly all one, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, then all of a sudden that person who may need to get in front of you for some reason, or is completely oblivious and still gets in front of you for some reason, you realize they're you. They're energetically completely connected. They're your brother, your father, your mother, your sister, your child. That connection between all of us changes everything, completely changes everything. An important theme that I've been getting lately in automatic writing is to put myself more in the role of the infinite observer. I did a bike ride across the country a long time ago, 2004. Wow. Decade and a half ago now. And I remember I did I think there was the ride across the Great Salt Flats outside Salt Lake City, a day that I did, just about 200 miles. In fact, it was, I think, 100 miles or something across the flats. Maybe it was 50 miles across the flats. And I had already done 100 miles in the day. And I remember speaking to reporters on the phone, going across the salt flats with the most amazing tailwind, kind of like God or the universe ushering me across. And it's barren. There's nothing. If you get in trouble out there, you're in big trouble. The winds are so strong they can tip over 18-wheelers. And I remember telling the interviewer who's going to be speaking with me the next day for NBC, CBS, one of those. I said, well, we're coming into Salt Lake City tonight. And she said, I thought you were on a solo bike ride across the country. I said, yeah, I am. I said, there's me who's pedaling the bicycle, and there's the me who's cheering him on. We all have that observer, that infinite observer, that we-ness that is cheering on each one of us. What do you mean? I don't have an infinite observer. Life is miserable. I've got to struggle. I've got to challenge each and every day. You're struggling. You've got a challenge. Who is the one watching the struggling? Who's the one giving the commentary on the struggles? That's the loving infinite observer. When we cultivate that observer and remind ourselves to step back and to watch ourselves rather than just to participate in it. So I'm speaking before you right now. But what if I was to step back in the corner of the room, sort of like Sir Lumiere, who's meowing off to the side? What if I was to watch myself off from the corner of the room and say, wow, there's Michael on the computer speaking before thousands of people, doing what he can to help others. That's pretty cool. You go, Michael. You go, boy. What if you did that with yourself? Well, there's myself watching Michael on the computer, learning something, hopefully gaining something. Hopefully my heart is opened. That's so cool to see. I love myself for doing that. That's so cool. The more that you can step back and put yourself in the role of the observer, and I can see somebody right now talking about the observer of the observer. It can actually go on toward infinity, the observer of the observer, but that's actually true too, because we are the infinite. We are the infinite. But if you can step back into the role of the observer, it liberates you from your emotions. It frees you from the suffering of the experience. It helps you participate more fully in the present moment, and it adds a richness to life because you're no longer that poor person being pushed to and fro in life, but you're a person cheering them on and getting to watch the movie and getting excited about the movie. Movies aren't just all bliss. If they were, they'd be boring. But they've got ups and downs like roller coaster rides. If you can step back and get to watch your ride, rather than to participate, just participate in it, it can change everything. And so I want to challenge you to put yourself, maybe once, maybe twice a day, maybe put up a sticky note on the computer that says, I am the observer, or says, go into observer mode. Go into observer mode. Guillaume, G-I-O-M. You can just have something that reminds you to go into the role of the infinite observer. If you do that once or twice a day, you feel so much better, so much more relaxed. You start to remember who you are. Again, that spiritual being having a human existence, and it sure does reduce your stress levels. Yep.
We have a question from Laura Gibson. She asked, do you have any advice on observing the observer?
Well, that's what I was actually just talking about really, really briefly, is that you have the observer, that's the you that's watching you, but then you could step back and watch the you that's watching you, and then step back from that and watch the you that's watching you that's watching you. It's not necessary to watch the observer of the observer. I think stepping back once is enough. However, you can step back and then step back more and then step back more, all the way into infinity if you wanted to. Jessica's gears are turning. She may have something to add.
Well,
to this.
I'm wondering if there's more, if that's enough explanation for people to be able to do it.
For me, the easiest way to be the observer is to ask, who's the person who's given commentary? Because that is the observer. I had a miserable day. Well, who's the one who noted that you're having a miserable day? I had a conversation with Jessica. Who's the one that saw that? That's the observer. So when you start to talk about yourself in a third person role, you're already thrusting yourself into the role of the observer. And so the more that you can have a running commentary on your day, the more that you are stepping back. It doesn't mean you're disassociating from yourself or disassociating, like numbing yourself to the experience. But you can say, well, Michael's in the store right now. Michael has the opportunity to help somebody here. Jessica is going to chime in on Michael. You can step back and see what you're doing. I meant that in the most loving way.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that? And I know not to put you on the spot. The more that you can, and this is my challenge for myself right now. So what I'm giving to you is the challenge that I'm giving myself, which is how much can I step back from the situation? So I see myself talking with you here. And for a brief fleeting moment, I want to step back, and I'm a visual guy. So I want to imagine I'm looking off in the corner of the room, or I'm looking up from the ceiling, or I'm looking from anywhere else. And I'm seeing myself talking with you and going, wow, that's really cool. And to just see that for a moment. I know when I was riding my bicycle ride across the country, I pictured myself as floating above myself, not as an out-of-body experience, but just having an eagle's eye view and watching that dude pedaling like hell to get across the country and cheering him on. That's the infinite observer. A few things that you can do on top of the infinite observer. Ask yourself, how can I be more compassionate today? And first and foremost, how can I be more compassionate with myself? That's the hardest thing for us to do, but there's nothing more spiritual than bringing kindness and compassion, not just to those around you, but to yourself first and foremost. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this right, but I remember I graduated graduate school. I graduated graduate school in 2003. I want to say it was 2002, 2003. And I believe that I am a human doing rather than a human being. That it is only in my doingness that I am worth anything. So I finished graduate school. I had been on this adrenaline rush for 2.5, almost 3 years. And I finished graduate school and I had an adrenaline crash or an endorphin crash. And I felt like the fact that I had stopped working towards this goal and didn't want to actually go into corporate America after that, I felt like there was something wrong with me, that I was less than, that I was not worthy. And in essence, I was very, very upset with myself because if I wasn't doing something, that I wasn't worthy of existing. And I was literally, not on a regular basis, suicidal, but at some points right there on the edge. And I had several meltdowns where I was a razor's edge away from taking my life. I did actually try to roll one car and in a moment of freak outedness, and thank God for BMW ABS, which saved my life. But actually what really saved my life was, and I'm going to see if I can get this right, I was listening to Wayne Dyer on PBS selling his, he called it the full enchilada. His whole total program, I guess like our magical evening routine, morning routine, and automatic writing all at once. He was selling his full enchilada. And he said that if you believe in a all-loving presence, whether you call it God, universe, source, whatever we call it, and he said, if you believe that that presence, that all-knowing presence created you, and that you're a product of the universe, of source, of divine intelligence, then you couldn't possibly be a mistake. And who are you to question the divine intelligence of the universe? And that actually hit home with me. I think that's actually what saved my life. Understanding, I truly believed that there's love, divine energy, source energy, whatever we want to call it, that runs in and out of each one of us, and that we're all one. But somehow I felt that I was unique and special and more of a screw up and loser and didn't deserve to live. Had I really understood the spiritual nature of things, the connection between all of us, the opposite of what we see on TV that teaches us to compete, to backstab, to be sarcastic, to lash out at others. But if I instead understood the oneness of it, I never would have gotten down on myself in that way. Now, there's a lot more to it. Our ego dives in, and there's a lot of programming and rewiring that gets to be done. but you can start with being extra kind and loving and compassionate to yourself. Then, of course, today is Giving Tuesday. I didn't know there was such a thing until a day or two ago. The question becomes, how can I be of service to others? If life is sacred, if each moment is sacred, what is the most sacred thing I can do in this moment? Maybe it's giving love to someone right next to you, or giving love to your child, or giving love to a pet, or emailing somebody and giving them love, or doing something kind, a gesture for somebody else. But what can I do to be of service? And what can I do that's the most loving thing possible in this moment? If you go through life simply asking yourself, what's the most loving thing I can do in each moment, that alone will change everything. What's the most loving thing I can do in this moment? Then you can ask yourself, how can I live my life as if it's a moving prayer? So Jessica went into the downstairs bathroom this afternoon, and she found the litter was consolidated with the used litter, with the next to the new litter, next to the basket, next to the shovel, next to everything. And she's like, wow, you consolidated in here. And I'm like, yeah. Why am I so excited about that? Well, I view the world as living art and as sacred art. And so I'm continuously asking myself, what can I do to make my environment more sacred? What can I do to improve my space? What can I do to improve my words? What can I do to improve everything around me? The universe is always growing, always expanding, always improving. It doesn't mean there's anything broken or anything that needs to be fixed. But what can we do to make things even better? And fixing up your environment, straightening up your environment, decluttering your environment is literally an act of prayer. I highly recommend that you dive into your inner knowingness, your inner wisdom. Each morning, go to automatic writing, go to morning pages, at a very minimum, go to journaling. Although I recommend a third person way of writing where you are the observer of your life, or you're tapping into the observer beyond yourself. That's where automatic writing becomes so powerful. When Jessica and I started doing this years ago, this is the single biggest thing that changed our lives. We'd actually been meditating for years. I'd held space at a meditation center for hours each winter, I think for a couple winters. But nothing changed our lives as much as diving in and hearing from our inner wisdom. And so you're listening to this show right now, and hopefully you're getting something out of it. But if you can take one or two things away, not only living life as a living prayer, but each morning getting up, doing a meditation. Please meditate, most important thing you can do. And then go quiet, put pen to paper, and see what words come out. The more that you cultivate that inner wisdom, the more you are literally living your life as prayer. And then go to prayer. This has been so powerful. They say that every marathon runner becomes every marathon runner that's an atheist becomes religious at mile 20. Prayer is so powerful for getting us through the tough stuff and reminding us who we are and where we came from. Not prayer out of desperation going, God help me, although that can be powerful too. But prayer in each moment. Like I said, I did prayer before I do this. I'll do prayer before I do my upload tonight, before I press that live button. I did prayer before my coaching clients earlier today, prayer before my interview, prayer before I went on my run earlier today to keep me safe. Who do I pray to? Well, I can't say whom or what is out there. My feeling, angels, guides, loved ones, elders, the works. But just putting that prayer out there, whether or not you know the exact person, being, or mechanism, makes a massive, massive difference. Each evening, go to prayer before you sleep. Set intention of what you're looking for in the evening. You know, those prayers of lay my head down to sleep. I apologize for not getting the exact words right. Those are actually very, very powerful words, because what a miraculous gift it is to wake up each morning. So pray to angels, guides, elders, relatives, whoever passed on, whoever you feel is by your side, to take care of you while you sleep, to help guide you while you sleep, to help heal you while you sleep, or even to help answer your problems and questions and queries while you sleep. I carry this beaded bracelet with me. I have different beaded bracelets depending on when you catch me, and I'm wearing them out left, right, and center because I'm continuously in a mantra of prayer. The one that I like to do the most is, I send love, I send love, I send love. Of course, if there's a relationship difficulty, if I'm not happy even with myself and I need forgiveness, I go to Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian healing and forgiveness prayer that I mention all the time. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. The more you come up with a loving and kind mantra for yourself, the more you remind yourself that this is a spiritual experience, a spiritual journey, and the more your heart opens up and you begin to soar. On that note, I put reminders all around your house. Everything that's at eye level is your shrine. Remember that. Everything at eye level is your shrine. Whatever you put on the walls that you can see, that's in essence your altar or what you're praying to. So the more you put reminders of what's important to you, spirituality or God or angels or a giant heart, that's where your focus goes, and that's what you help bring about in life. So put reminders up at eye level, even a little bit of stone, a little stone that might have the word in it that says presence or awareness or present moment. And then I recommend making a shrine, whatever that means to you. It can have a Buddha on it. It can have Jesus. It could have Mother Mary. It could have a heart. It could have Cupid on it. It could have a feather on it. Make a shrine and particularly have one by your front door. Why? Well, we've got an angel by our front door to remind you what's important every time you come in and out of the house. You can pray to it. You can pray with it. You can just chuckle at it and say a prayer silently. Make prayer a regular part of your life. From a scientific point of view, there's now study after study after study coming out on the power of prayer, and particularly the power of group prayer. It's real. There's an energy to it. We're all resonance. We're all frequency. The more that you go to prayer, the better you feel and the better your world literally turns out. The more you can go to prayer throughout the day, the more you can even live your life as if it's a walking, talking prayer, the better. Michael, I can't pray. I'm not good at prayer. That's okay. Let's not go to prayer. You're good at art. You're good at drawing. You're good at speaking. You're good at writing. You're good at painting. You're good at anything creative at all. I like math. We'll do some creative math. When you are in the creative process, you're in spirit, you're inspired, you are in prayer. You're plugged into something much greater than yourself. You do that wherever you go, that your heart opens up and you lose track of time, you can be in prayer. Now, as I'm saying that to myself, I'm saying anything we're inspired, we lose track of time, we're in prayer. And I'm like, what about like Warcraft or something? That's a good question. I'm not sure I can answer that. But if you feel in the creative process, then you are certainly plugged into the energy of the universe and everything, even Warcraft or whatever these video games are. It's all source. It's all energy. And as crazy as it sounds, it all can be love. Last few things. Do what you can to stay in a state of love for everyone and everything around you. Go to compassion. Go to kindness. Do everything you can to help your fellow man or woman and fellow creatures, large and small, and especially the ones that you don't do well with. Doesn't mean you have to dance the Macarena with them. Send them love, send them love, send them love. Even if they're the opposite side of the political spectrum. I've heard it described as, well, really, it's one arm fighting the other. You're chopping one arm. I'm chopping the right off to support the left. I'm chopping the left off to support the right. It's all one. We are all one. How much love can you bring to everyone and everything? Absolutely, no matter what. For all of life is sacred. Not just this group is sacred, not that group. Not just this idea, not that. Not just this animal, not that animal. All of life and everyone and everything in it is sacred. On that note, lastly, if you want to pray. If you want to be connected to Source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, get yourself out into nature. It's wintertime here. After a beautiful snowfall, if you've got snow around you, get yourself outside early before there are tire tracks. Walk around for 3, 4, 5 minutes in the squeaky cold snow when it's pristine, when it's silent. You will experience spirituality. Spirituality screams at you, never louder than in the silence. So get yourself out, and get yourself out. So with that said, thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to open it up to questions. I have a feeling we have a lot of questions here today. I am going to first ask Jessica if there's anything that she wanted to add, dovetail, suggest, questions, anything before I dive into things. You've been busy in the chat room, and so usually you don't even hear all of what I'm saying because you're helping coordinate everything for everyone, which is kind of awesome.
Well, in the chat room, we're taking prayer requests.
I love it.
So...
And then she puts her hand out to me. I'll take prayer requests. We can all do a prayer together. I think there's nothing more powerful than group prayer. So if we have some prayers, I haven't done this on this before, but why not?
There's Mary Mayer, who is healing from a hip replacement.
Okay.
There is Carla Solberg, who has a health challenge.
Let me pause for 1 moment. How many prayer requests do we have right now?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 requests?
5.
5. Let's take them individually.
Okay.
Let's go through them real quick. So we have Mary Mayer, who just went through a hip replacement. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mary, welcome to the Titanium family. And let's say a prayer for you. And, you can join me. I have kind of a regular prayer that I like to say, but you can just open up your heart to Mary and just share whatever you're feeling or just send love her way. My prayer tends to dovetail off of what I use for automatic writing. There's a shorter version and a longer version. I'm always praying to Mother Earth or Mother Nature, to the archangels, and to my higher self and higher team. And so what I'm going to do for Mary is I'm going to say my version of what I say in prayer. I do this with automatic writing. I do this when I'm coaching with clients. I do this when I do emotion code work as well. And so I'm going to say, and feel free to join along in any way you can. And please, what we've learned from this, what's so cool, we had on several times on Lynn McTaggart on the Power of 8, talking about how when you pray, when you get a group of at least 8 people together, 8's an arbitrary number, but that's what she scientifically tested. And you all pray for the same thing at the same time, praying for somebody else. It actually changes your life because it puts you into a higher frequency or higher vibration. So what I recommend is, if you're still sticking around here, is we go through a handful of prayers, and feel free to put your prayers out here. We'll go through a handful of prayers together, and you'd be surprised, even if the prayer isn't for you, how much better you feel. This is about being in service. All right. So first off, for Mary Mayer, we are going to say a prayer for health, for healing, for returning to perfect health, for being able to walk. Mary, I'm going to challenge you, for being able to run, and for your healing to go in the kindest, gentlest, easiest, and best fashion possible for your highest good and the highest good of all. And so I would say, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, God, Source, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, guides, and light workers, here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help Mary to heal. Please help Mary to heal. Please help Mary to heal to her greatest health ever. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You'll notice I go to the breath in between prayers. To me, there's nothing more powerful of a prayer than the breath. Before every guest I interview, I have us take 2 long, slow, deep breaths. It's not just a state change. We're literally plugging into source, plugging into the energy of the universe. So next is it Carla?
Yes. She has a health challenge and she's welcoming prayers in her well-being.
All right. So Carla, we send you all our love in the world, and let's say a prayer for your, not just for your return to perfect health, but for your return or finding a state of inner calm, of inner peace, of inner love at a level, a higher level than you have ever experienced before in your life. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, God, Universe, Source, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, everybody join in, open your hearts. All angels, guides, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help heal Carla. Please help heal her on the inside. Please make her stronger, more at one, and more in alignment with the universe than she has ever been before, and help her return to her greatest health and greatest strength ever. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Jessica jumped in. It's all good. All right, next. And if we've got way too many coming, we can take them 2 at a time, but I want to get through everybody. This is fun.
Okay. 345 says, please pray for my sister. She's getting a divorce.
All right, 345. We can do this. And I think we all know somebody in our lives who's going through a divorce right now or going through a challenging time with a relationship. So I encourage everybody to send your love, to send your light, whatever that means to you, to send all the positive energy and emotions you can to 345's way, but also to drop into the, I calling it drop into the jukebox of your mind, or into the jukebox of your heart. Take a coin, put on that coin the name of whomever else you want to send this prayer to, and see it go chunk right down into your heart. Keep them in your heart as we say this prayer as well. We are praying for peace in how things turn out, for the best outcome, for the highest good of 345 and the highest good of all, and for this to work out in the kindest, gentlest, easiest, most loving, and most compassionate means possible. Thank you, God. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, all that is. Thank you to the love that is and is of and is all of us and binds us all together. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you, Goddess Shakti from the East. Thank you, God or Goddess of love, kindness, and compassion. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self and higher team, and all angels, guides, and light workers here for our highest good and highest good of all. Please help 345 in this divorce. Please help everyone else going through a divorce or relationship challenge at the moment. And please send 345 all the loving energy, kindness, compassion, courage, and strength possible their way for the best outcome and the highest good of 345 and the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who do we have next?
Let's see. Laura Gibson says, please pray for my skin healing and finding my purpose or job. Been 6 months out of work, been having to trust in the universe in the form of family and friends to feed me. Any prayers would be so grateful.
You've got it, Laura Gibson. So let's pray to help Laura Gibson with healing her skin, with help her finding what her next calling is for work, but also, I would say, with help Laura to have the most positive experience and to understand what it is that she is here to learn during this pause. When universe gives us a pause, there's always a beautiful reason for it. Universe rarely brings things at the speed we want. I know The Secret says we can have things in an instant, but if we do, it would come too fast. But I believe that there's so much more to learn. There's so much going on behind the scenes. And so when we're frustrated, when we're struggling, when we're having to reach out, there's a huge positive reason for that. And so I want us all to pray for Laura, for her highest good and the highest good of all, and to help her through this time and to help her to see what's going on for her highest good for her entire life, more than just this time period, and to help heal her skin. Let us say this prayer for her and for anyone else that we know going through similar challenges. God, source, universe, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, all angels, guides, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help us to help Laura on her path. Please help her to heal. Please help her to find a job quickly. And please help her dive in on the inside to understand what's going on, why it's going on, and to help her leap to that next level for her highest good and the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who do we have next?
Not happy, not lucky, and I don't go. Writes, my auntie Jeanette has breast cancer. She already beat one type of cancer, which left her needing a colostomy bag. Now this she could do with prayers.
All right, we're going to help you. However, I can't resist. And Jessica's chuckling because she knows already where I'm going. When we define ourselves, we set ourselves up. We can set ourselves up for an easy ride or for a more challenging ride. So, in the nature of helping you out, not happy, not lucky, and I don't go, we get to bless you with a new name. Maybe one that is, I am happy, I am lucky, and I am free, I am free, I am free. Because words have an energy to them. Words are so incredibly powerful. Each word is a prayer. I want to say that again. Each word you say is a prayer. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. Look at what I did. Why can't I? All of that is a prayer that brings more of that about because of the frequency behind it. I see. It's a Seinfeld quote. We've been over this. I'm going to challenge you, even though it's a Seinfeld quote, and even if we've been over this again before. But all right, I will shift on and we will help. Aunt, is it Aunt?
I I believe so.
You had moved it, unfortunately. So,
Yes, Jeanette.
okay, your Aunt Jeanette. So let us all
Jeanette or
send.
Jeanette.
Let us all send healing, loving energy to Jeanette or Jeanette who has breast cancer, and to anyone else we know who is struggling with cancer or with a similar health challenge. Let's put their names into our hearts, drop them down into the jukebox of our heart, and send out all the love and kindness and compassion in the world we can to Jeanette. So, God, source, universe, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help heal Jeanette. Please help Jeanette move past this cancer in the kindest, gentlest, easiest, best manner possible for her highest good and the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can feel an energy in the air when we're all praying together. I can feel it. It's palpable. It's really, really cool.
Feels good.
Yeah. All right. Who do we have next?
Selena McCarthy writes,
Yes.
Watching from Ireland, love all your interviews. Please include me in a prayer request just to help with an awkward situation, myself and 3 friends. Do intentions for people every week. Huge success.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Selena McCarthy, watching from Ireland, we are going to send you all our love. We're going to include you in a prayer request to help you with an awkward situation. If it's appropriate, I always recommend going to Ho'oponopono. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Which is a prayer that you say to yourself and for yourself. But since we're all one, it helps heal all relationship challenges. At least takes the mighty edge off of them. So, Selena, we're going to send you all our love for the kindest, gentlest resolution possible. So if you're listening to this, and if you have a friend, a loved one, anyone in your life, and I recommend, so I'm saying to say prayers to friends and loved one. What if we said prayers to people we don't love? What if we said prayers to people we don't even like? How powerfully could that change the world? So I want to encourage you to put someone in your heart, Laura Gibson, and put in a special someone, somebody else. Even if it was somebody, heaven forbid, you wanted to give the monodigital response to earlier in the day after they cut you off, put them in your heart to help them to heal and help heal that energy between the two of you. God, source, universe, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, all angels, guides, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help us to heal. Is it Laura McCartney? I'm sorry if I got the first.
Selena McCartney.
Please help us to heal Sylvina McCartney. Please help us to heal Sylvina McCartney for her awkward situation going on with herself and her friends. Please help her to rise above this situation. Please help her to resonate at the highest frequency possible for the best outcome possible for her highest good, for her friend's highest good, and for the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Send love, I send love, I send love. And thank you for everybody sending their prayers to Sylvina. Who do we have next?
Do That Voodoo writes, please pray for my sister Irene. Thank you.
You've got it, Do That Voodoo. And so we're going to pray for your sister Irene, and I want to challenge everyone. Let's all pray for our brothers and sisters. Now, if you don't have a brother and sister, everyone is quite literally our brother and sister. In fact, there was something in the UN Charter I was reading earlier today, and it mentioned brotherhood. It was talking about human rights. It was written after World War II, and talking about our rights in this brotherhood of mankind. We are all brothers and sisters. And so can I have her name one more time? Do that voodoo, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Irene is the sister.
Okay, let us all pray for Do That Voodoo's sister Irene and drop in a coin into your heart of a brother, of a sister, or literally of the brotherhood of mankind. God, source, universe, whatever you want to label it. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, angels, guides, light workers, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help us to help Irene. Please help us to help all brothers and sisters. Please help us to send all the love and kindness and care and compassion and healing that we can to the entire brotherhood and sisterhood of mankind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we've got time for just a few more. How many more do we have?
2.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Okay, Marion M. writes, Jessica, I'd like prayer for vision to have a vision without sight. How can I serve?
So Marianne, I'm not sure if you're saying it's a prayer to have vision or how, if I understand this right, maybe you don't have sight, but you want to know how you can serve.
That's what it sounds like to me.
All right. I want to pray for Marianne and for everybody who doesn't have vision, but also who's struggling with an inner vision. Because I think there's nothing more possible than opening up on either that vision from the heart or vision from the third eye to get an idea where we can go, what we can do, how we can serve. So what a beautiful, beautiful prayer request. So everyone, please pray for Marian to find her vision, to find her path, to find her way that she can serve, and for us to find our path, our vision, and how we can serve as well. God, source, universe, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and highest good of all. Please help us to help Marian. Please help us to help Marian. Please help us to help Marian to gain that inner vision, that inner wisdom, that inner path to show her the way so she can serve, to show us the way so we can serve, and to show everyone who's struggling to find that inner vision and see where they can serve to help them as well for their higher good, highest good, for her highest good, and for the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I never expected to be doing this tonight. This is kind of fun.
Me neither.
All right, we have one more.
From the Forge, please pray for me. I have so many recurring issues that I think I've overcome, and then they come up again. I'm so over them.
Why do I feel like saying, it's not over till it's over, the Forge. Oh my, I wrote out a list, a spreadsheet. How many years ago was that? 4 or 5 years ago now? 36 different
5 years ago.
5 years ago, health ailments and concerns that were actually here to serve me. So the Forge, I am going to pray for you to be over these, gone now and forever, and to find whatever wisdom and guidance there is that these have to teach you to help you move past them expeditiously, quickly, and yesterday for your highest good and the highest good of all. And we all know someone in our lives who is stuck, who is struggling, or has been going around over and over again. Put them in your heart. It can certainly be yourself you're putting in your heart as well. Again, praying to and for ourselves is the most powerful thing we can do. Include yourself in this prayer. But let's send all our love and light and energy to the forge as much as we possibly can. God, source, universe, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and highest good of all. Please help give the forge some insight to move forward. Please help her to get unstuck. Please help her to move past these health challenges and all of these challenges. Please help her to step forward into her greatness now and forever forward. For her highest good, for everyone's highest good, and for the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how we do it. I don't know what it looks like. And we have more than a few things going on with the website and everything. But I wonder if there's a way that we can set something up so that maybe we can't go after each one individually, but we can read them all beforehand and do some sort of group intention, group prayer work, individual prayer work, something on a weekly basis. And I have no idea what that looks like or what is the simplest way logistically. But I think the more that we can do that and the more we can all pray together, the better for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Something to think about.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Cool. All right, we get to wrap things up.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Selena asked if there is something you both would like us to pray for you. Please say, and we can all pray for you.
Your call, Pookie.
You can say it.
We'll discuss this more on air next time. But you sure? Seems to be appropriate. The microphone is coming away from Jessica. We had a miscarriage last week. And so we'll take all of your prayers for Jessica's healing and health, and most importantly, for a safe, healthy, happy return of our healthy, happy, bouncing baby girl, Hannah Mandala Sandler, who we are sure is doubling around and is already here energetically and will be coming back our way. So if you can send some prayers our way or Hannah Mandala's way and Jessica's way, I have never seen such a strong, powerful, resilient person in my life than Jessica right now. So if you can send prayers there, that would be phenomenal. So I'll lead us in a last prayer. So again, it's not just for us. If you have, it turns out 25, 30%, maybe more women go through this at least once, if not more. So if you can send prayers to anyone who's gone through this or is going through this, put them in your heart. And of course, focus on prayers for us. It says weird, it sounds weird, but for us and for Jessica and for Hannah Mandala, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So, God, source, universe, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Akashic Masters, Goddess Shakti, all of our elders watching out for us, watching out for Hannah Mandala, Auntie Pua up above, who's probably taking great care of her right now as we speak, and our mentor, Jack Burden. Please help take care of Hannah. Please help take care of Hannah. Please help take care of Jessica and all those who've experienced miscarriages. And please help bring Hannah Mandala back to us when the time is right. Of course, we always would take it sooner than later, for her highest good, for Jessica's highest good, for our highest good, and for the highest good of all, and for the healthy, happiest baby girl or boy, and healthiest, happiest, kindest, gentlest, easiest, goodest pregnancy possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. All right. Anything you want to say?
You need a box of tissues.
I was noticing this. So I'm going to get her a box of tissues. And we have, it's our gift to you. You can get all of our programs. They're on sale just through tonight. Kind of a 3-for-1 thing. Jessica's going to put the link here. Come join us. We have live classes. Whereas right now you're in our chat window, but we have live classes for a limited time only with each of our programs: Magical Evening Routine, Magical Morning Routine, and our Automatic Writing Routine, where it's a video class. So you can see us, we can see you. You could hide yourself if you wanted to, if you're shy on camera, but you can ask your questions live. We can hear you. We can respond directly to you. That's a free bonus with all of these classes. So come join us. It's really inexpensive. You get lots more interaction with us. We're all learning and growing together. Jessica's put the link here. And of course, to everybody who's supporting us on patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's your love and your support that keeps us going. Thank you guys so much for your prayers. I can't thank you beyond belief. And not only do I want to thank God, Source, Universe, whatever we want to call it. I use all these words interchangeably. I even joke, giant cheeseburger in the sky. I don't have a word that's big enough for the energy that infuses each one of us, and that is each one of us. But I want to thank Jessica, who is my love, my light, my guiding beacon, who has taught me so much through this process. And because I have not been carrying the baby, I can't even imagine what she's going through, but she is truly my hero. And so I thank you so much for everything. So with that said, I get to wrap things up. I'm coaching in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to click end stream. It turns out a couple weeks ago, YouTube had a glitch. So I had ended and then it continued. So I will click end stream in a minute. And just in case YouTube has a glitch, I will then shut off the computer in case it keeps going and going and going, just like the Energizer Bunny. Be well. Remember, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. That's why we're getting through this, all right? Still with a lot of emotion, but we know, there is so much more going on than we could possibly even understand. And everything truly is here for our highest good and the highest good of all. So I love you guys so much. Jessica loves you so much. Be well and have the most magical evening and week ahead. We send all our love your way. Blessings, everyone.